face this way, face this way.
You're going to be doing a little bit of turning, and I mean, I wouldn't be looking at the board the entire video. I would look here, and then when it's time to write, turn.
Yeah.
Can you handle this?
I don't know.
So when I hit the record button is when you want to go over notes and how we're going to do the video.
Yeah.
Before I hit the record button and I ask you, and I try and talk about things, I get, I don't know, we'll see what happens.
Let's see what happens.
But now this is the time when you want to go over the script.
Yeah, because I got nervous and now I panicked.
It's general plan, okay.
So.
Hey everybody, welcome back to On the Brink. So today we're going to talk about how much it cost me to put a T56 in this transmission. Now I say me because although this is a team effort here at On the Brink, only one of us is footing the bill, at least on this truck. And it's continually being me, which is fair. I mean, it's my truck, but it's racking up, let me tell you. So I have my lovely assistant Kurt here. He's going to help out.
Hi.
He's going to write some numbers on the board. I wanted him to write the words, but he didn't feel comfortable doing that, so we preemptively put the words on the board.
We want you to be able to read it.
Yeah, it needs to be fair. I hope you can read it. Yeah, this is your best shot. So let's dive right into it. So I bought a T56 Magnum. Now that is straight from Tremec. It's an aftermarket model. It technically never came in any passenger vehicles of any kind. It's rated for 700 foot-pounds of torque. It comes with 3 shifter locations. 3 different places that you can possibly put your shifter. I think it comes with a warranty, but I honestly wouldn't even worry about that. You're not getting 3 shift locations if you find a factory stock one, which you can go do if you want to save a few dollars. You go find somebody selling one to pull out from a Trans Am or a Camaro or something. GTO maybe. The GTO ones are different. See, that's the thing. You get all kinds of different variables depending on which model your T56 came out of. If you buy a used one. And then you got to be on the lookout. You got to make sure you know how to tell the difference between an LT T56 and an LS T56. And I don't know how to do that. They have different input and output shafts, and they're not rated for much power at all. Plus the LS based ones still aren't going to get you 700 foot-pounds. Now they might handle it, but they're not rated for it. And you're not getting 3 shifter locations. You might get 2 depending on which model you get. You're definitely not getting 3. And they got this thing on them now called drift tax. All the drifty boys want them. So I see them going for about $2,500. When I bought mine at the end of 22, we're now in June of 23. Mine was $3,600 plus $300 shipping, so $3,900 total. That's the wrong column.
Where's your eraser?
This is going swimmingly. Right bold. Right bold.
Bold. Fat side.
Just put it right next to it.
Put it right next to it, but don't we
$3,900. That's plus shipping. Now, if you can find a dealer locally, you can avoid that shipping cost, which I actually did. However, they didn't have one in stock, so I had to pay the shipping. Nowadays, they're up to $3,850 plus shipping, so you're gonna pay a little more. Prices are always going up. If you're looking for one, I highly recommend going to Tick Performance. You call them up on the phone. You're going to speak to 1 or 2 guys, I believe. Real human beings, believe it or not. And they'll tell you everything you need to know, which one you want, how much you're going to spend, and the sky's the limit. I mean, you can get a $15,000 sequential shifted one if you want it. They have specific drag packages. They have road race packages. You can get whatever you want. Everything else on this list, dang near, I got from Tick Performance. Highly recommend them. Okay, so next we got clutch and flywheel, that combo. I spent $818.15 on that.
818?
15 cents, yep.
15
that is a spec stage 3. It's rated for 836 foot-pounds of torque, which is really specific and odd. So I'm worried if we hit 837, what's gonna happen?
Well, the transmission will break before then.
That's valid.
Yeah.
Will they both break at the same time?
I mean, if you just
That's how life works. That's how life works.
Yeah, those both explode.
It is a single disc with a sprung hub. I actually kind of wanted a dual disc, but I screwed up when I ordered it. But anyway, the sprung hub, what that is,
was deceiving.
the picture was deceiving.
Picture was deceiving.
The sprung hub increases drivability. Once you get into a solid state hub, they get much more difficult to drive on the street if that's what you're after. The flywheel, I went with billet aluminum. You don't have to do this. I had to spring some extra money for that. It just sounded right to me because it's lighter, less rotational force. And they wear about the same, and they're not rebuildable, but reusable. You can shave them down when you need to get, or you can mill them down before you need to buy a whole new one. So I bought it that way. Next we got pilot bearing. This is, it was $33.12. It was a stock GM style, nothing fancy at all. What do you got next? Bell housing. Bell housing, now you gotta buy one of these. The transmission doesn't just come with it, unless you were to get a pull out. You're gonna get that pull out for $2,500. It might come with a bell housing, it might not. My bell housing, I spent $195.50 on. I looked really hard for a used one. I thought that would be easy to find used for like $50 or something. I could not find one, so I just bought a brand new one. But again, it's just a stock style. I didn't get SFI rated quick time bell housing. Now I might want one in the future, but I don't have one now. I'm leery about getting one because they're all closed, right, for safety, but that will hold in heat from the clutch, and that just doesn't sound like a good thing to me.
Is that the only difference? Or is it more, is it milled rather than...
I think it's steel, first of all, whereas mine's aluminum, so they're stronger, and it's dang near completely solid. So the whole point is your flywheel goes flying off, your clutch explodes, it's not going through the car and all over the place. But it holds heat in, and I imagine if you're just drag racing, doing a hit and parking it, or doing a hit and parking it, that's probably fine, but I want to drive this thing on the road. I want to beat the crap out of it, so not yet. Next we got clutch pedal assembly. Nope.
Throw bearing.
Throw-out bearing, $499. I got a slip-on hydraulic style. It's got a quick disconnect for a line. I think we screwed up the installation of it. We'll find out soon. You don't have to spend this much money. You can get a stock style one. They're much cheaper. I don't really know exactly why I got this one. Hydraulics better? I don't know why I got this one, but this is the one I got.
Probably quicker.
Probably. $499. Clutch pedal assembly, $55. Now on this one, we're fortunate where these trucks came with them from the factory. So I just bought a factory style one off Rock Auto for $55. Nothing special. Then we got next master cylinder, $125. Now I bought the more expensive one. Now this is again just my stock style one. I spent $125, but you can get them for as low as $35. The reason I got the $125 one from Rock Auto is because it came with a steel braided hose with the quick disconnect that will plug right into my throw-out bearing. And as far as I'm concerned, that's worth the money. I cannot stand having to track down hoses, figure out sizes, get fittings. A, it adds up quickly. B, it's time consuming. And C, it's just annoying. Now, if you're in a scenario where your vehicle did not come factory with a manual option and you got to get aftermarket stuff, you got to get aftermarket stuff. I can't tell you what that stuff's going to cost. What do we got next? Driveshaft. Now this one hurt me quite a bit. I spent $1,156 on my Driveshaft. It is completely brand new. It's
1,000 what?
1,156. It's a 3.5 inch front section because we got a what's that thing called? We got a bearing in the center. It's a 2-piece Driveshaft. There it is, carrier bearing. The front's a 3.5 inch with a billet yoke. The rear's a 3 inch. Now you don't have to do this. If you're in a scenario in which you have to shorten your stock Driveshaft, all you do is take the Driveshaft shop, give them your measurement, they'll cut it off, put the correct yoke on it for the T56 and you're good to go. Much, much cheaper, but that one did hurt me quite a bit. Fluid, you gotta buy it. I run Schaefer's, if you don't know that already. We needed 4 quarts at $10 a piece, it's $40. Cross member was hard for me to put a number on. I just put $100 on it. I highly recommend you to modify the one you have. It's just a cross member. It's a hunk of metal that needs 1 bolt to go through it. Modify what you got if you can. If you can't weld, make a friend who can. Okay, so now we're moving on to options and add-ons. Now you don't need all this stuff. Technically, you could probably tally most of this up right here, and you could call yourself done. I I don't know many guys that would do that. But first of all, we got the clutch pedal assembly bracket. So if you go back and watch the video of us putting the clutch pedal in, which you should if you haven't already, make sure you like it, give me a thumbs up. That pedal bracket that actually bolts underneath the dash of the truck is made of plastic, and it's a known failure point. Where there's a guy in Alabama, Atomic Fabrication and Performance, big fan of this guy, he makes one out of metal. So naturally I went with that, but I had to pay for it. After shipping, we had $315 into that. But Atomic Fab, especially if you're building a truck like this, he's got everything you need. We have multiple items of his on this truck. Next,
Seat brackets, right?
Seat brackets, motor mounts, and that thing, is that it? I think so. Shifter. Now I'm talking about the shifter that actually bolts to the transmission. Right here, this is the factory one, the one that comes with the Magnum if you go that way. There's nothing wrong with this. You can run this, it's not a problem. I found one I like better, so I chose to go that route. Now that one uses springs to keep that shifter in place. The one I bought has Belleville washers in it that supposedly do not wear over time, and it's also guaranteed never to miss third gear. So it intrigued me. It was red and gold, so I bought it, but I had to pay for it, $295. And that came from Driveline Components. Red Roberts runs that company, if you're interested. It's called the Quick Stick Shifter, QWIK, I think. Next, you need a shift stick. Gotta have one of them. Can't get away without it. I spent $140 on mine. This guy's
modified?
only because I wanted it modified.
Ah.
I just shaved off the branding. 140 bucks.
140 bucks.
Sky's the limit on this though. I mean, you can spend as much money as you want. You can spend as little money as you want. You can get one off Amazon for 30 bucks probably. You could build your own, which I highly recommend you doing. I wanted to build my own. Maybe I will. I just didn't want to mess with it at the time. I'm sick of working on this truck. We want it done. So that's what I went with. Shifter ball. Gotta have a shifter ball.
Shifter knob.
Shifter knob. Same difference. I wanted a specific one that had a button on it, so I had to pay for it, 70 bucks. But it's got my button on it, ready to go. I got that from Twisted Shifters with a Z. If you need a shift knob of any kind, them boys got them. Oh my God, they got them all. And then lastly would be reverse lockout, because you've got to be able to get into reverse. There's a few different ways you can do it. I said in a different video, guys will pull the solenoid apart, cut one coil off the spring that's in there, and then it falls right into gear. I don't like that. Other guys say you can just kind of jam her over in there and it'll go in. I don't want to live that life either. So all it takes is 2 wires and power and a button. So we wired that button on the shifter to power to the solenoid. You hit the button, reverse lockout, open. So I spent $0, but a standard kit that I see people talking about is from American Powertrain. It costs $190. You can put that on the board, put like a question mark or something on it. So if you want to do it the right way, you got to spend that money on that little control module, or you can do it the way we did it, which is what I would recommend you do. Now, all that being said, grand sum total, I spent $7,741.27. And that didn't feel good adding all up, because like the rest of you car guys, I don't add things up like this because I don't want to know. But this is the way it is. I figured you guys want to know, so we're showing you here. I would not let this giant scary number stop you. If this is the life you want to live, just understand this is the life you want to live, and some sacrifices may need made. I recommend, putting 50, 100 bucks away a paycheck if you can afford it, buy piece by piece, because prices are always going up. But yeah,
that's just the transmission. That's not counting everything else.
That is unfortunately just the transmission. This is correct. There's
lost count on the actual truck itself.
I still have count. I just don't say it out loud.
Oh, okay.
This is what you do. You know, you're car people. You want to go fast. You want to be cool. This is the life you live. But all right, I hope this was helpful to you guys. If you want to help us out, subscribe to the channel. Give a thumbs up somewhere. It really helps us out. It motivates us to keep moving. We want to keep moving.
Gotta get those numbers to go up.
Ain't that right, Kurt?
That's right.
So, there'll be more content to come. I think the next one's going to be, I screwed up the axle and we had to spend an entire day rebuilding it. So that was fun.
That was fun.
All right, until next time, we'll see you guys in the future.